Hello, this is another tough video, so tell a friend video, this time on the topic, what can we learn from Luther, Martin Luther. Yesterday was Reformation Day, so the 31st of October 1517, Martin Luther wrote his, or attached his 95 theses on the church doors of Wittenberg. Now, I want to start a little bit earlier, and that is maybe around the year 0, or let's say we start around the year 30. And that was when Jesus kind of introduced a personal God. So for the individual God, so for that all people had the direct call to God, whatever they wanted, a loving God, and whatever that is, But Jesus said, that's my Father, and He's God. And now the people used that for many, many things, and they were really happy about that. But, this is the timeline, but what then happened is, over a period of many thousand years, I think it didn't take a long time, but over a period of many thousand years, things like with this personal God, which was a good thing, this personal God for each one, what was introduced, that the church, and it is here the Catholic Church, introduced a system where the Bible was written in Latin, so people could not, so there was no access for, ordinary people to read the Bible themselves. So they introduced the clerks, clergy, I don't know the words, or the priests, and only they could kind of translate and then give that to the people. And then so that was already a bad thing, that was already a bad thing. Here we have Jesus introducing a good thing, for people, and then over time that changed into a bad thing. But now what changed was that in Rome they built the St. Peter's Cathedral. Yeah, they built this, and it cost so much money that they had to collect it. So the normal people with their donations, they were giving, they were giving a little money, every once in a while to the priests. But the priests, that was over time always increasing, getting more and getting more and more. But these ones never were kind of, they never got happy with that. There was always too little money. And so what happened in Rome was that they built the St. Peter's Cathedral, and that was very, very expensive. And so they came to the idea, how about telling people that if they pay us, money, then if they pay to the church money, which is then used to finance the building of the St. Peter's Cathedral in Rome, then their sins are being, they get the love from God, by paying. A person that is a sinner pays money, and then he gets the love of God. So they invented this, and people believed it. These people, you can now say they are stupid, but if you look at what the belief system of these people, what their scientific research came maybe in the 1700s, where people started, maybe a little bit earlier, like 1600 or so, when they started to work scientifically. There were some people like Leonardo da Vinci and so that may have started earlier, but people were in terms of science, they were dumb, in some terms of, education, scientific education, not emotional education. There, I think they understood very well how the system works and how to survive and how to grow food, and they understood this. But on a scientific level, they were very dumb, and so it was very easy for the clerks and for the Pope to then describe to the people, if you give us money, then your souls will be near God and your sins will be forgiven. And now the thing is, what then happened is they introduced a person that came to Germany. I'm now talking about Germany. So, and his name was Johann Tetzel. And Johann Tetzel kind of exaggerated, because what he said is, the more money you give us, the better it is. You can actually pay this money, and then family members actually get withdrawn their sins, and even people that already, your ancestors, people that are already dead, you can actually pay this. And also, if you pay us, you can pay in advance. So if you plan a murder, then pay us now, and God will not, punish you for this murder, because your sin will be taken away from you. And the people, unluckily, and that is like the naive people, they kind of, they believed that and thought, oh, great, yeah. And so I pay, and that's it. And now there was, I draw it with green, and there was I think it was 1415, there was a guy named Jan Hus, I think was his name. Maybe he's from Holland, because that's a kind of a Dutch name. Sorry, not Holland, but Netherlands. So that Jan Hus, and he said, so look, this is not nice, why is that? Why? Sorry. This Johann, okay, error. This Johann Tetzel goes here. Jan Hus, this is one of the things I want to state before. This is kind of 100 years before. So Jan Hus said, this is not good. He said, Jan Hus said, clergy, this is not nice. Pope, this is not nice. And now, what did the powerful people do? What do you think they did? They burned him. They burned him. And he was so strong, he was such a strong person, this Jan Hus, that he was singing in the fire. He was singing in the fire of, I call it early Inquisition. So he was kind of burned to death, and he was singing while the flames actually took over his body and burned him. He must have had so much pain, but his belief was so strong, and he was such a pure person, if you look at this. Okay, now 100 years after that, about 100 years, Johann Tetzel moved or came to Germany from the Pope, and then explained all these lies which I was talking about, and people unluckily believed. And then there was, and this is the Reformation day, and there's Martin Luther, who then, after, he saw this Johann Tetzel lying and, telling people all this. Martin Luther was able to read Latin, so he was able to study. He was a very intellectual person, so he was able to actually look at the documents, study the Bible, and so what is written in the Bible, and how good the Bible was, and how bad, things have turned over these, from Jesus, over these 1,500 years. So give a regime the powerful 1,500 years, and you come into a disaster. So Martin Luther discovered that here, and that is exactly here, this 1517. So 102 years after Johann Hus was burned to death. And now also Luther, when he stated in front of the king his concern, he was also sentenced to death. So he received the death penalty, but in the form of if you kill him, you will not be punished. And that is in German. I don't know the word in English for it. In German it's vogelfrei. That means you're free like a bird. Everybody can shoot you. Everybody can kill you, and maybe even receive money. But I don't know about that. So it's kind of a death penalty because you cannot go anywhere without maybe having somebody that kills you. And so you will not be punished if you kill Mr. Luther. And so some people protected him, and then obviously the Reformation war, the war started. It was kind of a civil war. And I want to state a very, very important thing. And now, in this period, I put it in black because for me it's dark. So this is 2020. So, and maybe put here 2000. I think in the new year 2000, the Catholic Church finally kind of admitted that they did wrong, partially. Yeah, so admitted that they did wrong. So that means it took them 500 years to say, wait, that thing, what here was created, like burning him, this guy promising that you can kill somebody, just pay money and your sins will be taken away from you. All that, the Catholic Church took 500 years to admit a little bit. And now take that to the NS regime. None of Hitler, Goebbels, Hess, and so on, admitted we did the wrong thing. And as Nietzsche said, it's not the idea that dies in the head of people. It is the head of people. It is the people that die with their idea. And this is what we have to say. Our belief system, and here the Catholic Church belief system, all the people in that Catholic Church, their belief system is so strong that they will not admit that they did wrong. They will die, and then this idea is gone. So new ideas, new beliefs will only emerge in new brains. That is what Nietzsche said. And it is once you discover that, it is terrible. And for me, discovering it was illuminating. It was fantastic. Now I know what bad things can happen in my brain. That is what I know. So my 3 brains, I need to control them very, very well, because that is what our brain actually tends to. We will never give up our belief system. And there I want to state Goebbels. I'm not, as with all the quotes, not 100% sure whether it was him quoting this, but it is in many internet sites, it's a way listed quotes. Goebbels said, or it's reported that he said, if you have decided for the bad or for the lie, you stick to the lie. And that is exactly what we can see here with the Catholic Church. Here 500 years, you have decided to go for a lie, you will remain with a lie and take that lie to your grave. And you will take many, many people without any, remorse, anything. You will take, if needed, millions of people with you, before you, into the grave. And please, please consider this in the times of Corona. Please consider this. A person that has decided to go for the lie, if it's a politician, if it is a scientist, if it is a doctor, if it is a lobbyist, he will never, ever be, ask for mercy. He will never, no, he will not. His brain has this belief which he started with a lie. He will go to grave with a lie. And please consider that when you look at the current situation we have. So please look at the faces of our politicians, of our scientists, and so on, and look and try, and please do that. You can do it. Your grandmother was able to do it, and you can do that too. Look into the soul, look into the heart, look into the heart of people, and you can see that through the face. The face has, as far as I know, 17 muscles. It is the human face is the best, or the in the whole nature, the best animal face there is in expressing within split seconds what we feel. So if you are aware and if you are very conscious, you can see because it's a natural gift we have, by looking at these 17 muscles, the eyes, the mouth, the ends of the mouth, the cheeks, the movement of whatever, even movement of hands. Look at the body language and you will see of any person whether he's a devil or whether he's an honest person. Now, what I have to say, and this is terrifying for me, if you are a bad person, you will like him. So if you are bad, and it's your choice to be bad, you will say, he's a great guy, so you go for the bad, and you will destroy the good. Be aware that happens. So it is such a rabbit hole that goes so deep. So you have to be really truthful, look in the mirror and say, I'm bad or I'm good. And if you willingly decide, I want to be good, then work on yourself, and within months you will be able to discover who is bad and who is, when you talk to somebody. Obviously not if he wears a mask. If he wears a mask, you cannot see, you can only see the eyes, and then, well, you can see little. So you have to look into the eyes of a person, into the face. You have to look in the whole complex. The eyes themselves are an indicator, but it's very, very difficult to read the eyes. But you need all the muscles to understand the mimic. And so please, stand in front of the mirror and say, I want to be a bad person or I want to be a good person. Take that decision. If you are a bad person, fine. It's not, I don't judge. You can be a bad person. From nature, I'm going to do a video on good and bad. From nature, from a point of the space, the earth, the nature, being that person or that person has the same right to be on this earth. I end with the quote from Shakespeare: there is no good, there is no bad. And he says the thinking makes it so. I want to say, which of the thinkings is it? And I would say what controls us is the emotional part, so reptile brain and limbic system. It's not the thinking. It's not our IQ-based intellect, cognitive thinking. It is our emotions. So Shakespeare, please wake up for a minute and could you restate your quote? So the not thinking, but the feeling makes it so. And nothing against feeling. Feeling is great. This here, for example, this sensing this is a feeling. It's not cognitive. It's not, oh, I've decided that his mouth went up for a split second and then he closed his eye and he showed this and that. No, you know. It's your emotions that immediately know good person, bad person. The only problem is if you are a bad person, you say a bad person is good. Okay, thanks for listening. This was 20 minutes. I actually wanted to do something like 5 minutes. Now I come from, I always have this arc like from history and then what happens, and then you go, in the end, you end in who am I, and if yes, how many am I? Which is a nice book from Precht. I know Maria, I don't know his first name, something like from philosopher Mr. Precht. A fantastic title. So, wer bin ich und wenn ja, wie viele? Thanks for listening. Bye bye.